Are you tired of mediocre haircuts and lackluster service? Look no further. Get ready to redefine your grooming game with the ultimate experience at No Grease Barbershop, conveniently located at North Lake Mall and Charlotte Premium Outlets. It's not just about a haircut, it's about the experience. No Grease Premium in North Lake sets a new standard for luxury with a full-service bar selection. Elevate your grooming experience even further with their signature drinks served during your service or while you wait. Whether you're looking for a classic fade, a timeless gentleman cut, or a bold modern style, No Grease Premium in North Lake got you covered with their design and color specialists. Let's not forget about the importance of routine self-care for men. Their partnership with Alpha Male Nail Care, exclusively at No Grease Premium, offers manicures and pedicures as a part of your routine grooming. Visit No Grease Barbershop at Charlotte Premium Outlets or North Lake Mall today, and make sure you tell them that the Black Dads Club sent you.
Like, I couldn't tell you what's going on around Charlotte except from the Charlotte Reddit thread.
That's how I knew that we had all the streetwalker prostitutes off Sugar Creek. I'm dead serious. I used to get on Reddit, show it to Karina, and be like, look at this. And she'd be like, I'm like, look, they're talking about get over there at 6:30. All right, no shoots this day at 6:30.
Yeah, I know, right? That is insane.
And I used to be like, yo, if I see this, I knew the government see it. So we're gonna do our introduction later, Taylor. Don't judge us. But we're gonna start this podcast because Mike has stumbled. It's the slowest news week. It's not as you think it's bad as that other week. Remember that one week we had nothing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. But this week this was terrible. I was like, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Like this is definitely us being consistent.
Yeah, bro. Sometimes you got to push forward, man. It's when you go to Bible study and only be 3 saints there. Your pastor,
you still got to go. You still got to go.
preach,
Yeah, I would have shut that thing down if I was a pastor.
Absolutely.
I mean, I am a pastor, but if I had a church.
Look, you got one. This your congregation.
Right, yeah,
$ Black Dads Club or whatever Mike said it is. That is where you can send your tithes and offering.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Cash App is $ Black Dads Club.
See, there we go. All right, read the story because I'm ready to go in.
All right, so this is Camp North End, which is like this area in Charlotte. The question is Camp North End dying? One of the businesses posted, real talk, if things don't turn around, we're done. I won't name anyone, but there are a few businesses at camp that will be closing or on the verge of shutting down. I don't take this lightly, but also not sure what to do. Yesterday, $300 in sales. Today, $400 in sales. We are dying. No one talks about this bullshit. I did not add that last part. This is an actual business in Camp North End that is saying that, like, yo, they're over there struggling. But if you go into comment section, Camp North End is in a gentrified neighborhood.
Facts. And
the places that posted this, I won't say their name, but they did say that it is $8 for coffee, $7 for a scone. Excuse me, $7 for a cookie, $9 for a scone.
That is ridiculous. That is crazy. The problem with Camp North End, so if you're not from Charlotte, let us help you out. We have a thing called Uptown, which in your city, because you go to a regular city, you live in a regular city, it's called downtown, right?
Yeah.
So Camp North End is slightly, if you hear hammer in the back, that's our ops trying to get into the building. And I ain't gonna name that podcast because I've been looking at y'all numbers and that shit is ass. Sorry for the cursing, mama, so early in the pod. But anyway, right outside of our Uptown, I mean literally not even half a mile, is Camp North End. Camp North End used to be in the hood. So much so, you know, Camp North End, where the food court is, my dad used to work in that building.
Oh, wow.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
So we used to go there every day. Yeah. It used to be apparently like an old World War II plant.
Yep.
Then it was an Eckers plant. Yep. And then it became a distribution center for shipping products. Hence how I know about it. And then what happened is it fell off the map. The reason why I'm so passionate about Camp North End is because Camp North End got popping because photographers used to go over there and shoot videos and take pictures because it was such an industrial, rugged looking place. Yep. What happened is these people who came in from Chicago and New York saw this, thought it was super creative. They decided to gentrify the area, turn it over, and they made the place prettier and better. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But what they did was they came to all the photographers and said, all right, now y'all got to pay us to come to this public place.
You got to pay y'all.
Even though y'all made it popular, now y'all got to pay us to come in.
If you want to come and take pictures, you got to pay us to take pictures.
I got kicked off of Camp North End property probably like twice. And I was like, all right, cool. And then all the photographers said, we never going over there. What happened is Camp North End realized the backlash was too great. So what they started doing was, hey, we're going to revert that. But what's the easiest way to get rid of people that are trespassing that you kind of need to keep trespassing? You put businesses there. If I'm a photographer, I don't want to keep taking pictures where it's businesses, restaurants, bars. And so right now at Camp North End, I know this because I reached out to Camp North End for us. Mike don't know this.
I was thinking that that's a great area for a podcast studio.
Mike, I hit him up.
Yeah. What did they say?
Oh, it was the quickest no I ever got. I think I hit send and got a no back. And they was like, nah, y'all not bringing that over here. And what ends up happening is Camp North End, this is an assumption on me and Mike's part where it's not like your rent is low, but we take a proceeds of sales.
Yes.
Now, for people that I know that are in Camp North End, from my understanding, at least from the artist point of view, is, hey, your rent is low, but because we get so much government funded money, you have to donate so many resources, time, energy to certain things.
Yeah.
The problem with that is a lot of these revenue-based businesses don't make enough revenue.
No.
It's some dumbass stores that's over there in Camp North End. And I ain't going to say nothing because they all dope. But we don't need a record store in Camp North End.
It is a very, very, I like the area. I think it's electric. I think it's it improved on the eyesore. Again, when I went over there, I was like, yo, this would make a great area for a podcast studio. But if the only thing they're doing is trying to pull resources from struggling small business, I don't know if anybody listening have tried to start a business.
It's hard.
It is hard. Like, it is one of those things where you keep going because you love to do it, and then you start making money.
Bro.
You don't make money, then start loving to do it.
Facts. And then the other thing is, if we keep it in a buck, all the art grant money goes to Camp North End anyway.
Yeah.
I've seen too many grants, the last 2 grants. Camp North End has at least invested a few $1 million into businesses that's over there. I don't know where the money's going. It's probably going to y'all high ass rent, to be real with you.
Well, if they start struggling over there, I mean, maybe good, because maybe, we can go ahead and push through this next level. Maybe they'll take us and let us put a podcast there next.
Please, because, I see what's over there. I already see the games. Camp North End, y'all can't fool me, man. Y'all ain't gonna get me twice. I want to welcome everybody to episode 149. One hand claps for us to keep pushing through. Next episode is gonna be special. I gotta talk to Mike. We're gonna have to do it a little later next week. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, I'll be a better man than Wednesday, but we'll see. But I do want to introduce the podcast. This is the Black Dads Club, the number one source, the number one place. I don't know another phrase to say.
I think we're the number one podcast in the Carolinas.
Oh, that ain't no thing. I tell y'all that every week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's our folks up in Raleigh that's doing pretty well.
Oh, I was about to throw some gunshots.
Yeah, no, that's our folks in Raleigh.
Now you got the ops thinking. They knocking. They thinking that it's them. This is the Black Dads Club. That is Pastor Mike Will, the best pastor in the Carolinas.
Yep, you can find me on all socials at Pastor Mike Will. Not on all socials, but you can find me on Instagram and Twitter.
Absolutely. I am Gavin B. I am a photographer that is passionate and that gets upset. Especially because, I've been watching a lot of entrepreneurs, man, they burning out. And I put it on Facebook.
Hard work, man.
That, and I think a lot of them, how do we say this? Fake. And I think they're getting burnt out because they're just not themselves. And it's a lot of podcasters. I'm watching a lot of y'all. Excuse me. I had a podcast hit me up today, man. They stopping, we ran out the studio, so they not renting no more. She said my co-host moved. That'd be the number one thing that break up the girl podcast. Matter of fact, this is a good start. One of y'all get hot. One of y'all get a man. Getting a man will ruin girl relationships. You ever notice that?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna kick they back in today. Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
It's ruining y'all. Sometimes y'all get a man, and I ain't saying it's a bad thing. A chick who my wife worked with, she quitting. And I told my wife, they was having issues when they first started. And I told my wife, I said, you said she got a man? And my wife was like, yeah. I said, oh, he about to change all that. I said, because he ain't finna do what I'm dealing with.
But that's the thing, though. I don't think dudes are the ones that are like breaking it up. right? I think the ladies break it up. I think man, like we don't care if our woman have a friend. We care if she's a thought, but
I like those.
Yeah, I mean, but if she's like, we ain't like, I mean, that's like a terrible thought. Like, if she's just like a regular thought, like we just be like, yo, you can't do that, right? You can't be out.
Yeah, well, I think what men do is, I'm speaking from you going through something. Men are very solution based.
Yes,
my woman is not going to keep coming complaining for too long. By the third time, I'm like, all right, what you want to do about this? You want to get this bitch fired, beat up? You want to get away from her? What are we doing here? Let's make this quick. Like, because you don't want to keep hearing it. Me and, shout out to my baby. We in a good place right now. We in a great place.
That's what's up.
But when she first got this job, bro, she was coming home complaining too much. By the second week, I'm like, all right, how much money do I need to make to send her home?
I know. Like, what do we need? What do we got to do, baby?
What we got to do?
What do we got to do?
And so, but shout out to the girl podcast. Yeah, some of y'all losing y'all co-host to a different state, a different man, a different player. Sometimes, and we're going to talk about it later, sometimes it was a player that you messed with a couple years ago. But nonetheless, dad tip of the week, I will say this. Canon is making a lot of mirrorless, cheap cameras. You can get an EOS R or RP, especially cheap now because I don't think they're going to make the RP anymore. They are mirrorless cameras. They are great cameras. Please get you a camera and keep taking pictures of your kid. Please do. I'm back to my taking one picture of my kid a week. I turned around today when I was taking him to daycare. I almost cried in the car because his little feet is like now hitting the back seat. Oh. And I'm like, yo, my man's just growing up. He turns 3 in a month. Well, in 3 weeks. And it's just like, yo. And like today, this morning, he climbed in the bed and I was giving him a hug. He climbed in my bed. And I gave him a hug and he said, get off of me. He said it. I mean, it was clear, but it was very passionate the way he said it. He said, get off of me. And I'm like, damn, we getting there now, right?
Old.
Yeah, man. But please get you a camera. Please look into the Canon. Matter of fact, I always tell people this when they ask me what kind of camera they should get. Go on B&H website. Black people. Oh, this is a Black Dads podcast. Retract that statement. I'm not going to delete it, but retract it. I think they said something about black people.
Really?
Or something. Yeah, but we can't talk about them. They wanted a list that you said we can't talk about.
Oh, yeah, can't talk about
So I'm just saying, do your research before you. But anyway, you go on these websites, you type in your budget, and you look up a camera that fits within your budget. But please get it from a camera store that's aligned with your beliefs. I will put it like that.
So go to Amazon.
Shout out to Amazon. Jeff Bezos, you got the bag. If you are going to start, Jeff Bezos, if you are looking for content creators to post on your platform weekly with high resolution cameras,
there you go.
We are here.
Yeah, we do it. We got you.
And you ain't even got to wait to Juneteenth the next year. You could do this Christmas, anytime this year. Mike's birthday, which is the same day.
Yeah, man. Juneteenth. That dog on Elon, he is losing it on Twitter.
He is spiraling on Twitter.
He is spiraling, man. I heard he's actually, I can't talk about Elon. Elon is vindictive.
Facts. He'll block everything of eyes on Twitter.
You saw he actually took down Dudes for Harris. So there's a group of like white guys that are for Kamala Harris. And Elon suspended their account yesterday. They had posted they posted about it because they raised like $2 million for her. He suspended the account. You can go to their Instagram, same at Dudes for Harris, because you can find they are back up on Twitter, but they say that they still can't post. So they was like he basically like put their account back, to be like, oh yeah, we are a free speech place.
Yeah, shadow banned.
Yeah,
out the ass.
But they're absolutely shadow banned. So Elon has been vindictive, man. That's the problem with rich people, man. I like it because it gives us an opportunity to see what rich people are actually like, right? Like we assume that rich people sometimes are just vindictive and evil and mean and pretend to be fair. Mm-hmm. But we never really get to see it, right? Like when the last time you saw a Harris or a Kroger, right? You never see these people.
Never.
Right? So it's like when you actually get to watch one like Elon spiral, it's kind of like, oh yeah.
Somebody did say on Instagram, they responded to when you said you like this. They said, but do you want them to have their free will to do whatever, or do you want them to be responsible on a platform? The floor is yours. I thought it was a great question.
Yeah, I want you to be responsible, right?
Okay.
But I don't want you to pretend to be responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like, if either you are or you aren't. And maybe you can improve. Maybe you can get there. But I think social media is so fake. Like, it's so many people that pretend to do the right thing that we think that that's all people. I like to see when people make mistakes or fail. And I don't think they should be canceled. I think that actually gives us insight into what it means to be human. So no, I want you to be yourself. Because I still like Twitter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where all the news breaks. If you want to find something out, you still go to Twitter. It doesn't matter if it's being ran by a dude that grew up in the South Africa apartheid that looks like he's still into that shit.
Look, man. I will say this: Twitter they need to refresh their porn. I keep seeing the same thing. Like, that's just a personal thing on my end.
He also fired everybody.
He did, man. The good uploaders. Sidebar before we get started. I told y'all
I was just about to say that. We told you it was a slow news week. I was just about
to say that. Don't have no
high
expectations. Did you see the video of DJ Vlad talking to who was he talking to? Oh my gosh, hold on, because that's an important thing. He was talking to what's my man that y'all don't like? Tariq or
Tariq Nasheed?
Yeah.
I haven't watched the full episode yet.
He's talking to him and he's like, they're having a conversation if Drake is black or not. They, as in Vlad, is having it. Like, Vlad now has officially made it. Yo, you're a repeat guest. This is me just talking to you. Yeah. And you just sitting there looking like Tony Yayo the whole time, right? And so he's talking about that. He was like, yeah, Drake has a Jewish mother. I grew up in a Jewish family. I believe that's true about Vlad too. He's like, yeah, and then
Tariq said he grew up in a Jewish family? Oh.
Vlad was just talking.
Oh,
Tariq didn't say nothing.
Gotcha.
But Tariq, we're going to get to you because you made me mad because you were supposed to do something.
Yes.
Vlad goes, yes, they're talking about culture vultures and how that was the thing about, which is irony, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I got to send you this clip. And so they're talking about culture vultures and how Kendrick was giving that to Drake. And then Vlad was like, yeah, because, Drake grew up with a Jewish mother. I grew up in a Jewish family. And, Drake is half black. Yeah, but I grew up just like Drake. And
Vlad?
He said that.
I mean, it's possible he grew up like Drake.
Tariq was supposed to say, yo, Drake is half black. If you don't want to call Drake black, you have to say he's biracial.
Yeah.
His dad grew up in Memphis in the South in the 70s. Drake struggles with that. From what I've heard from all biracial kids, that is a struggle within them and their community that only they understand.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that with biracials. And again, right, you got to think Drake's dad is not only from Memphis, but think about the time frame in Memphis between 1968 and the 1970s. Mm-hmm. So there's a good chance that Drake was pushed, out of Memphis in the hood. I mean, Dr. King was assassinated in 68? Yeah. So, think about, that era and that time frame.
So Tariq was supposed to tell Vlad, never compare yourself
to black. Yeah. But Tariq is a grifter. And one of the things, no, he is. And look, I like the FBA, right? Foundational Black America. I actually like that, right? So just because he's a grifter doesn't mean he has all the terrible ideals. But what I like about Tariq is that he gets ahead of the argument that's coming, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what a good grifter does, right?
Okay.
Candace Owens, Donald Trump, Tariq Nasheed, these are great grifters, bro. I don't mind. It's a hustle, so I don't mind dudes hustling. I enjoy a hustler and a hustler spirit, but Tariq isn't the person that we should put forward of the black community when we're talking about an ethnogenesis for African Americans, which I do think we need, right? Tariq isn't the face for that, right? The face of that would have been like Dr. Henry Clark or Dr. Claude Anderson, even, right? Like those would be the faces of that. Dr.
Boyce Watkins.
No, not Boyce. And I think Boyce had an opportunity, but it's there's people. Michael Eric Dyson, I think, would probably be a good person to speak with. There's great names to speak with. It should not be Tariq. Tariq is a grifter. What a great idea.
But Tariq, you supposed to say that to me. And Vlad, don't never compare yourself to a half black man, if whatever we want to call it. I laughed so hard on the internet when I said I couldn't cry. And then, of course, I love business. I was like one of the first comments. And they been tearing my ass. But most people been laughing. They was like, yo, imagine having black in your blood and Vlad comes up and like, yo, we grew up the same.
Yeah.
I grew up just like you.
Was that on Twitter? I'll go.
No, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I think he blocked me. I think I'm blocked by Vlad on Twitter.
His Twitter's really, if you actually want access to him, his Twitter actually don't be blowing up like that.
Nah.
So he actually going to see your comments.
He actually will. And if he don't like it, you are blocked.
Yeah. I do the same to misandrous though. So don't get mad. If you're a misandrous or if you one of the people I don't like, I do block. I don't argue.
My rule on social media is if you're married, if you're a woman and you're married, I don't argue with you. That's my rule. I give you 2 comments and that's it. But I'm never arguing with somebody's wife.
No.
Especially if your man is not on social media, meaning that he agrees with me and he can't deal with your ass either. So he sends you to the socials for the other men to handle you. I won't be one of those men. Also, I'm never going to go back and forth with somebody's woman because they are willing to go farther than I'm willing to go.
Yeah, because they're emotional.
Yeah, you not finna crash out. I ain't finna lose my life because you want to crash out over somebody who don't know how to shut up.
Exactly.
And I'm cool on it. So I let your wife win. And then the joke for me is when she gets done yelling at me, she gonna come and tell you, and you gotta sit there and be like, yo, this bitch is out of her mind.
I'm only, like I said, anti-black misandry gets blocked. Everything else though, I let it fly. Like, even if you disagree with me. You don't believe me? Go look at the Eminem YouTube. Like they're destroying us over there.
Yeah, I just turned them.
I think I might have blocked one person. And then I don't even think I did.
Yeah. We doing good over there.
Yeah.
We should be at like 125,000 views.
Yeah, we letting y'all get it off over there. So
for that to be our first video to ever cross over 100,000 views is hilarious.
That is.
Especially being a black podcast. All right. This is where we start the pod. Not really. Paris. Shout out to Paris. You ever been to Paris?
No, when I was in Amsterdam, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to Paris for a day, and everybody in Holland was like, yo, it's a dump, don't go. So
I was gonna ask that. Everybody always says dirty.
Yeah, and I went to London, and then because London it was like $140 when you catch a train back and forth. Mm-hmm. So I was in London, same thing. I was talking to folks. I was like, yes, I think I want to go to Paris this week, and they were like, yeah, it's a dump, don't go.
Damn.
Like everybody was just like, it's the dump. So I didn't go. I did not go to Paris. Everybody says it's the dump. Everybody said that the French actually know English and they just refuse to speak it.
Smart.
So they were like, they were like, they just look at you crazily and mean. Everybody's like what you see in the photograph. So there's some places you go to that the photographs do no justice, right? Like you go to Hawaii, like the photographs do not do Hawaii justice. You're like, wow, it's really like this in real life.
Yeah.
They're like, Paris is different, right? Like you see a bunch of nice places, and then when you get there, it's like graffiti in the front. But if you set your angle right on the camera, you'll get the iconic picture. So no, to answer your question, did not go to Paris because everybody told me it was a dump.
Yeah, I'm never going. Well, I mean, I want to go see that tower, but they got one in Vegas, so I see it this weekend. Apparently, ain't even apparently. Paris, the Olympics they was in hot water. They got out. I ain't never seen something switch so quick. But they were doing the opening ceremony, and the Christians, air quotes, was upset. They had children, drag queens, or female impersonators. I'm not for sure because we're not even supposed to say female no more, so I don't know what the correct term is anymore. That's what they say.
I'm gonna let you step it all.
Absolutely. Y'all know me. I love stepping in some shit, and I will act like I don't know because I love acting dumb. But they had impersonators up there, and they were mocking the Last Supper just for 36 hours to get passed by. And we found out they weren't mocking the Last Supper.
Well, I think they playing stupid.
So are they pissing on us and not telling us that it's wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that ideal was the quote unquote Last Supper. But this is where me and Christians always fall out, is because there is no imagery or picture of the Last Supper.
Fact.
Right? There is none, right?
And if you read the Bible, the Last Supper did not seem like
it wasn't this elegant sitting around the table type thing. So the imagery, like the imagery that you see of, what the Christ looks like, of the Last Supper, just most of that stuff came in effect like during the Byzantine Empire, right? None of that stuff really existed prior. So if you saw the Last Supper picture and then you're like, oh, well, they're making fun of it. Well, yeah, they probably are making fun of the Last Supper picture, but there's a good chance that picture was stolen from another picture in that era, because that's what artists do. Mm-hmm. So it's not like that photograph is actually the Last Supper. Did they intend for it to be the imagery that people think is the Last Supper? Absolutely. Of course they did, right? Are Christians outraged? I think Christians got better things to do.
They better.
Right? They have better things to do, man. So this country and evangelicals are upside down. So I think the outrage is fake from Christians.
There's a bar in Atlanta called Church. If you are easily offended, you cannot go in there. Especially if you grew up in the church and you easily offended. They have a picture of like white Jesus, but instead of white Jesus, it's Luther Vandross. So it's like that picture, like with the halo around like Jesus' head. And so this is kind of reminds me of that, because is that actually Jesus? No. I'm not talking about Luther, but we know what Luther is trying to be funny about,
so
like that thing.
Yeah, the imagery and all
and
that.
RP Luther.
It's like, look, they playing stupid. Of course they tried to make, they were making fun of it. Why? I don't know. Like who are they taking a shot at being a Western country and Western society?
Yeah.
Being the seat of the Charlemagne Empire, the Byzantine Empire. I think that was King Charlemagne, right? Like the fact them taking a shot, it's just kind of either they own it or they don't, but I don't really care.
So the backlash came into people reaching back out to Christians saying you weren't offended, this wasn't for y'all, whatever. They
intended to be offensive.
Absolutely. My favorite part is when people, because first of all, we know that because they apologize. Two, exactly. My favorite people's like, oh, this is playing off of Greek mythology. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing, I don't believe none of that shit.
No. A lot of Greek mythology is based upon
somebody's imagination.
Well, somebody's imagination, but a lot of African mythology, right? And a lot of African mythology is actually the basis of Christianity. So a lot of stuff is going to always run together.
Yeah. And so was that, and then my favorite part was
because all the Greeks learned in North Africa, like, and all the North Africans were learning from the other universities that was deeper within the continent. Right? Like these, I think the oldest university in the world is
UNCC.
No, Timbuktu. And obviously Timbuktu is not in North Africa. So again, that's where a lot of your education was coming from.
I love when everybody kept pointing back and saying, yo, how can this upset you and not this? And they was pointing it back to Christians. My favorite thing is when we talk to Christians and you show me people that you deem as Christians, I get to let me show you that they really not Christians quicker than you can prove what is Christianity, right?
Yeah, so they're never Christians.
Yeah, and I never talk to people about it. Like that's my favorite part. It's like you'll never see me having a religion conversation with people because it's just pointless for me. Plus, I don't know enough.
I love them.
I know you do.
Y'all can always have a religious conversation with me. Come over here, please.
Look, you never getting it off with me. Never. I will send you the mic. But so they started tying in Trump stuff. Which got me laughing because Trump was telling Christians, yo, y'all just got to vote this one time.
Does Trump even go to church?
Black churches when it's time to get a vote.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
But he said, yo, he going to fix the election. He said
he's going to fix the election. Like right now, because you have to be accurate with the term fixing. So are we fixing it like a wrench? Or are we fixing it like Venezuela? What are we doing?
Apparently, he about to give some comments later this week, because they want to know what the hell you meant. Because he said we're gonna fix it real good. We're gonna fix
it. And Trump is all about a good double entendre. Yeah, sometimes I wonder, is it intentional or is this dude just an idiot savant?
Or yeah,
and no offense to anybody that's voted for Trump. I literally do not care. I don't. I mean,
bro, he's funny.
He's unintentionally funny. Like that's what makes it funny. It's like, yeah, we're not laughing with you, bro.
If you like dry humor, it's no way you don't find Trump funny.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you are. I now I gotta go find this comment about Trump fixing the elections, especially with Venezuela popping off right now.
Bro, he said it before that, and they was just like, he's going to give a statement soon because it looked so bad. I mean,
stop arguing with people on the internet, because I'm gonna tell you something. Especially on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook as much as I used to be because
cesspool.
Yeah, but like I had a friend of mine. She was arguing with another young lady about voting and like how can you vote for Kamala and blah blah blah. And she goes and looks her up because like my friend is like the ultimate stalker on the internet. Like she can find anybody. I told her, I was like, it's good that you're a woman. If you was a man, you'd be creepy.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
But anyway, she found, and of course, the lady that she's arguing with is not even registered to vote. About voting, right? So a lot of you guys don't stop the argument over the election stuff, because most of these people don't vote. Like most people who disagree with me don't vote.
Yeah, that is funny. It was funny. Ben, before we became friends with them, he said he looked up my voting history. He's like, just had to be sure who I was dealing with. And I'm like, golly, bro.
Hey, man, I like that. I'm pretty much the same way. I will look up your voting history. I will. What
was funnier, Trump saying about fixing an election or what Vance said about his wife?
Hey, man.
For those that I know, apparently Vance was, what was it?
So he's literally addressing their side of the party.
Okay.
That is racist, right? Mm-hmm. And they were like, Vance's wife isn't white. Yeah. And Vance literally addressed his wife not being white, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
But he did not correct the people that are saying your wife isn't right. He was just like,
she all right.
She all right, right? She cool.
She's in the clear.
Like, come on, Vance. Dude, insane. But I mean, that's about what I would expect from a guy that literally is working on his third name. He has a birth name, a name that he changed himself to, and then he went with the last name, which is called JD Vance. And if anybody think that we're bashing you for voting for JD Vance and Trump, we're really not. These are just the facts.
Where we at.
We went in on Kamala last week about collard greens. So
speaking of, the poll is done. Well, it's not done, but it's pretty much. I don't think. How do I say this in the most appropriate way? I don't think the results are changing. You know, when they do when somebody has to concede during the elections, that's where we at with this. So the results are, sorry if my phone about to go off. Oh shit, that's Mike. Excuse Mike. The results are, we reached 1,600 accounts. We got 17,000 views, and the people have spoken.
Who collard greens do we want? Kamala or Kamala, however y'all want to say it.
They went
Allah. She was like,
well, it has changed since we checked before we started the podcast. Kamala didn't even get 20% of the votes.
Not Kamala. We keep saying her name.
Kamala. Yo.
She didn't get 15%?
No, she didn't get 20. She got 19% of the vote.
Oh, she got 19%.
81% said Rachel Dozel. Well, you going to eat dinner with her.
We're going to eat at Rachel's house for Sunday dinner.
Shout out to everybody that DM'd us, that DM'd me and said y'all can't vote because I don't know who can see this, but I ain't going over there. So it would have went worse. I thought the question, that is hilarious. That was funny. Mike came up with that all on his own. I had no idea what the hell he was going at. But I do think some people are like, there's this thing of, yo, why you voting for Trump? Why you voting for Kamala? For Miss Harris. VP Harris. Why are you voting for her? I can't do it. I don't want to disrespect you no more, sis. You know what I'm saying?
I like her. I like her as a person. I have my own issues with California, right? California being the quote unquote most liberal state, also being the state has locked up the most black men, and also being the wealthiest state. So they could, California made gangs a problem, right? Like loitering in gangs, right? Like that became a problem. Start locking up a lot of people like that. Basically, it's a stop and frisk of sorts that they were able to have out there in California, right? And it's like, all right, you're the richest state. You could easily you could fix the gang problem in California, right? Like only thing if you had after school programs, you had before school program, you had after school lunch programs. You're a tech state, right? So if you put kids in coding, if y'all make microchips out there, you could have created tooling, classes, right? Like you could get rid of gangs, right? It's intentional when you don't. So my issues with California, right? And any politician that come out of California, and I know y'all heard me talk about Gavin Newsom a lot, and it's because I know Gavin Newsom can get elected. The same way back in 2020 when y'all was all saying, "Oh, we're going to Elizabeth Warren, we're going Kamala, and all this other stuff that y'all radical black feminists were doing, following up behind the radical white feminists was doing," and we was
Elizabeth?
like, "Huh."
Elizabeth was native.
Yeah, and it was like exactly right. All this craziness, right? And then when we came along, right, when the rational down south black men was like, "Yo, look, we're not doing something for shock value. We need to get someone else elected, right? It's electability, right? Like we're not going to stop going in the wrong direction, but we need to start slowing down. We was like Joe Biden. Right?
Yeah.
And Joe Biden became president, and true to form, things are slowing down. I think Kamala has an opportunity to continue in that trajectory. Does she have a shot? I think she's within a point now on all the polls when I looked it up. It's what white women decide to do. Like educated white women run the elections and the polls.
Yeah.
So it's like it's what they decide to do. I hope they don't elect the guy. My biggest problem with Trump is the fact that January 6th, he kind of was like, if y'all win, if you guys can pull it off, I'm gonna be here for it, right? Like, I don't like that, man. I think peaceful transition of power is the core of a democracy. Like, that is the core. And when you start playing with that, I know the answer is absolutely not. If anybody else did that, we'd be highly offended. If Kamala was elected and then at the end of it, she lost and she was just like, nah, the election is fake. I don't know if everybody would lose their shit.
Yeah.
But because it's y'all guy, y'all sort of just like, it's just like, no, I don't play with that. I do not play with that in my democracy. I love my country too much to play with it. I know I travel a lot. I know I bang on the United States all the time. But look, when I get back, our airports are better. Like getting through customs with TSA pre-check night, global entry. I literally take my picture on the plane and walk straight through, right? I don't do that in any other country.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, if we want to make our country actually great, not again, actually great, I do have to hold Kamala to a standard in California, being the most liberal state with the most money, having a gang problem, right? Like, I got to say, no, this is intentional, right? Like when you have forest fighters out there that are putting out fires, the wildfires in California, and y'all are using prison labor, right? And then when these same men finish being a prisoner, they can't get a job as a firefighter because they're a felon, even though they've actually fought the fires, right? These are problems where it's like, hey, if you're going to come in and run the country, we do have to admit where we're messing up in the state that you are running or that you have a participation in. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's going to get interesting. They are already starting to pandering, like I told y'all last week. Apparently, Meg is going to go to a concert in Atlanta, not in Houston, which is weird because, I mean, Meg is from Houston. It makes sense that this is my home state. I got more pull here, whatever. But y'all know Atlanta is important. Where the hell is Stacey Abrams at?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Yeah, where you at?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
This would have been an easy, never mind. I just think it's funny. It's pandering time, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool. All of y'all gonna do it. Come drop the bag off at the podcast. Our address is online.
Yeah, and don't y'all fall for this third party bullshit, because the moment Kamala gets close, they're going to start pushing Robert Kennedy or whoever else, and they're going to start making it seem like that, this is who black men are pulling for, and then you're going all the paid blackmail bots that exist on social media.
Facts.
They're going to sit there and say that this is what they're doing. They're being paid for that. You don't hear any black men out right now. You don't hear any black men supporting anybody
besides DL Hughley.
Yeah, well, DL's going to do the Democrat thing because he's being paid the same way that
Amber Rose was paid.
Yeah, it's going to do the Trump thing, right? So we're not talking about them. We're talking about like moderate black men. You don't really see anybody taking a side right now. You kind of see everybody's being like, yo, I mean, I'm gonna vote, but I'm very, very disappointed in what we have going on.
Absolutely, man.
And if y'all want to win, I'm gonna add one more point. It always changes. Like the polls is different with somebody calling you like, "Hey, Gavin, who you gonna vote for?" Because you have a voice on the other side, so you're gonna say the way you leaning or the way you're convicted, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're kind of wishy-washy, you're going to be like, I really don't know. Or you're going to say, what you think people want to hear. in that voting booth where it's just you and nobody get to see what you do, that it always changes in that booth. So again, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe and the okie doke. I've been kind of ahead of these things for the last 3 weeks. So I'm probably 3 weeks early, but I'm telling you now, don't fall for the third party bullshit.
What about who you think she gonna get for vice president?
Probably Kelly out of Arizona. It makes the most sense.
Huh.
Arizona's a swing state. I mean, the guy was actually, well, I'm not even gonna say that. I don't even want that to get picked up by the algorithm.
You don't want Roy Cooper?
No, Roy said he's not running. Roy is also 67, and I think he wanted to like kind of ride off in the sunset in the Senate.
Facts, because you don't want to get taller like Biden. You know what I'm saying? And I also found it funny that this Meg Thee Stallion news come up, and then suddenly Tory Lane's driver now can be found and open his mouth and give a statement. Just to let y'all know, Tory ain't getting out of jail.
Nah, he'll probably get out in like 4 or 5. They're not gonna make him do the whole time.
Nah, he got to at least do 80, right?
Is it federal or state? I think it's state.
I think it's a state one.
Yeah.
So how much time you got to do it at?
Whenever the state honestly let you go.
Oh, well, we'll see. I will say this though. Tory, if you can put out songs like this from jail, you gonna be all right, buddy.
He dropped the banger.
Yeah, that shit sound good.
Really? Tory has some bangers, man.
I don't even like Tory like that, but that Alone at Prom CD, which was amazing, because I've realized I should have grew up in a disco era as far as music is concerned. I love electric, I love disco type stuff.
I tell you, man.
I'm
80s
not
was lit.
I don't do drugs though, like now, so I don't think I would have did good then doing that. But just living wild and free is amazing. Give everybody a heads up.
Tory Light, I wish I never met you. Prison tapes.
Yeah. And I'm like, I wonder, is this for Meg? Because it's,
he is dropping prison tapes. Cell 245 prison tapes.
See,
I'm about to check these out.
When we get done off the pod, you should listen to it. It sounds like a regular album.
He's from Toronto also, right? Mm-hmm. That Toronto sound is a nice sound.
Yeah, it is. You know what I'm saying?
Sound.
We'll see how it go. There's a doc on Netflix called Dirty Pop. I encourage everybody to watch it. It's about the guy who founded Backstreet Boys, and to thumb his nose up at them, he started NSYNC. To thumb up his nose at them, he started creating, he created Making the Band, which Diddy ended up taking over. But he was funneling money from investors. And the reason why I want to shout this doc out, one, because it's just funny. If you're a fan of like pop music and just that era, because Mike was older than me when that era was coming out, but I was the demographic that boy bands, that I was the age range demographic, not who the boy bands was created for, but like that age range, which was weird because it's people that was Mike age singing to people that was my age. But I'm gonna let that rock. I ain't trying to call nobody creepy. But that is what it was. When girls used to tell us how much they love Backstreet Boys, and I'm like, yeah, I know they ain't making songs for 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds, but they're actually 25. Like, it's weird, but it is what it is.
That's kind of in the music industry, like.
Anyway. Yeah, so it's like, but I say that to say, we always go in on our people.
Yeah.
And this guy the guy who started Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, he ran the longest running Ponzi scheme in American history. It spanned over 4 decades.
Wow.
This man literally bought Canal Street Station that's in Orlando. He bought that building off of the scam that he was running. And his, not to ruin it for y'all, but the judge gave him 25 years in prison. The judge said, if you can give back $1 million of investors' money, I will shave off 1 month from your prison sentence. And they just said, he was just like, never giving this money back. Because he couldn't pay it back. I mean, think about it. I don't even know what's 25 times 12. Somebody do the math out there, but that's over $250,000. And he was just like, I'm not paying it back. Like, bump it. But that's how crazy it was. But it was crazy to see. But check it out. I was laughing at my wife singing at all the songs. One of my favorite parts of the show that we have to bring back, it is the Simp Post of the Week. Now, I'm going to read this out. Mike hasn't really followed this up. Mike is mad that I did not tag him in it.
Because I love a good Simp Post.
This is from Andre. Andre Mason, you posted this. You shitting on other black men. So with that, I believe you deserve all the credit that you're going to get today. And this is the Simp Post of the Week. Yo, walked into a T-Mobile store yesterday and seen the prettiest female with the prettiest eyes. I love a girl with pretty eyes.
I do. I love a pretty female. I think we all do.
Absolutely. The prettiest female with the prettiest eyes that I've ever seen in my life. I spoke for a second, comma.
Okay, so you walked in the store, you saw a pretty girl. Is she working there or is she just standing in there?
No, she working in there because he said I peeped her name tag and immediately got on DoorDash to order flowers. As I was walking out, her flowers was walking in. Romance / chivalry ain't dead. These niggas just broke. Get you a stepper, ladies. And he posted the DoorDash receipt. He got a dozen pink roses, which came to $14.95. He got
that's a pretty good rate.
Yeah, he got some flowers that he posted that was
delivered.
Yeah. Then he got some pearl bouquets. It came out to $37.90 plus the service fee. He tipped the DoorDasher $5. That's important, ladies. When y'all paying attention to these simps, make sure they can tip. He did not tip 20%. I do want to say that. It came out to $48.72, and I posted personally. I swear you boys simp where you don't have to.
Yeah, that was really no need. I mean, for one, she's at work. Did he tell her like, "Hey, I'm sending you some flowers,"
Nope.
or he just sent it from?
He said he walked out when the DoorDasher was walking in, so she didn't know. She just knows she got flowers.
Now she got to have an argument with her boyfriend
or her husband.
Yeah, y'all simps. Hey man, as I always say, man, simps are out of control, but they're in charge. And like one of my boys like pushed back, against me saying that because I actually said it on Sunday. And I told her I was like, look, I said, let me ask you a question. I was like, when productive black men are saying that they have to leave a community or they have to seek something elsewhere, I was like, that's not the person that's in charge. The person that has to leave is not the person that's in charge. The person that stays is the person that's in charge.
Facts.
And the simps are in charge right now because, again, right, like he spent $52 of, $48, whatever.
48.
I added the tip in there. Okay, 48. He spent $48 to impress a woman that probably did not see him, did not remember him. What he's going to do is double back and go back into the T-Mobile store. Mm-hmm. And then he goes in there, he's going to be like, "Oh, where those flowers that you got? I saw you got some flowers last week." And then basically fish for information, being weird, and then eventually tell her, "Oh, that was me."
Facts. I got 55 comments on this.
Run his pockets.
One of my favorite comments of me getting my back kicked in was the amount of jealousy, hate, immaturity, insecurity, ignorance, and feminine energy being displayed by men on this post is disgusting. Now, to be fair, y'all, I was the only man that commented on my own status.
She'll talk about you. See, you gotta send me that. I'll go defend you, bro.
Her next line: I love black men. I love when y'all kick our backs in and then afterwards go, "I love you."
Well, the truth is, I mean, men are the only people that are romantic, right? Like women are not romantic. Men are romantic. Right? Men are the ones who, to this point, right, get flowers, right? Order lunch. Get your car washed, come and drop something off, right? That's what romance is, right? It's called romancing, right? Mm-hmm. So men are the romantic ones.
She said, "I love y'all black men," but instead of posting, this is clearly for me,
yeah,
and continue to comment on what another man chooses to do, let's focus and move inward. Instead of speaking on terms created and pushing a narrative on who it was created by and for, and she put in quotations, when it's beyond stupid and irrelevant and high-key funny, learn a new word and educate yourself and someone else. Now, shout out to you. I'm not going to say your name, sis, because like I've said at the beginning of this podcast, I don't talk back to people that are married.
Man, look, men talking to other men.
Wives, I won't do.
Whenever you see like the ladies come in, it's like, yo, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Like anytime you're talking to another man and the ladies are just like, whoa. Because everybody wants somebody to simp out on them. And I get it. I get it, right? Mm-hmm. But like simps are destroying the dating market.
My thing is this.
For everyday guy, when I say everyday guy, I'm not talking about broke guys. Like everyday guys aren't broke, right? But an everyday guy cannot order you $250 worth of flowers 52 weeks out of the year. He just can't, right? He took about $10,000, $12,000 of flour. even if the guy makes $250,000 a year, it would be stupid of him to spend $12,000 a year on flowers.
Facts.
It would be stupid of him, right? So it's like, a man who gets to that level knows that, hey, I need to take this money to do something else. Hey, I can take you to fucking Bali for $12,000, right?
No, you can go to Bali 3 times.
Yeah, a couple times at least, right? It's easier for me to do that. It's better for me to do that, right? And us have an experience than to waste money doing this.
Mm-hmm. Get your big ass up on one of these elephants in Bali instead of getting these flowers. To the ladies out there, every great, and I'm going to just address this quickly. Every great doc, y'all know I love docs. Every great doc that has a stalker starts with a story like this, by the way.
Yeah.
It starts with a guy coming into your job.
Love bombing.
Yep. And then turning around and being crazy. Now, I would say that. Also, this is not just being thoughtful. Buying a woman flowers is being thoughtful. I'm not here to discuss that. The reason why I call this simping, and for those who do not know, because y'all don't know the definition, like I've said to another young lady in this status, you don't know the definition because y'all did not create it. Y'all do not give the name to other people. This is created by men for men to describe them.
Yep.
All right.
And describe a behavior.
And so it's a behavior. That behavior is when you pander into women either through your wallet or putting down other men or putting down other men.
Yep.
How did I know he did that? So if I go buy a woman flowers, is that me being a simp? No. But when I have to promote that I am buying a woman flowers, that is me pandering to other women. When I have to end it with, yo, ladies, get you a stepper and not a broke nigga.
Exactly.
That's when it becomes simping. The problem is I'm never going to argue with the beneficiaries of simps.
No, and simps are, again, they're leading with their wallet because what they want to do is prevent access to women.
Absolutely.
By other men, better men, right? So it's an insecurity, right? Because they're not in an arena where they really want to compete. Look, if you have more money than somebody else, it's not a competition, right?
No.
But if you're competing against somebody in, like, let's say, basketball, right? It doesn't. If you're 4 inches taller than me, I can still compete.
Yeah.
I can still beat you, right? But so what simps try to do is just basically they want to get to the point where it's like, hey, I don't have to compete, right?
Fact.
I've acquired enough resources. And because they know that once you get to a certain level of resources, that already puts you in the minority of men, right? Mm-hmm. If you're a scammer and you make $400,000 or $500,000 a year, you're in the 0.5% of the United States. So by simping, I already know that this pool is small, right? So I just want to block access by leading with my wallet from everybody else. So when what men say is like, yo, dude, that's whack.
Absolutely.
That's because it's not like you have good intentions.
And then my other favorite part is, me and one of the young ladies was having a conversation. I actually know her, so me and her, we rock. And I know her husband, and he's a great guy. And I know that she went to her husband and showed him this, and he probably was like, that's the stupidest shit I've seen, because I know this man. She had a conversation about, is it really that women don't know the definition of simping, or is it that men use it incorrectly? I am here to tell you it's both. I am also here that whenever you hear a man use the term simp incorrectly, he's probably a broke simp, or he's a man that you as a woman would never deal with. And as Mike likes to say, the bottom third of men.
Yeah.
When you hear a dude look at another dude and be like, oh, it's simping just because he said, hey, a woman is beautiful, he probably don't know what the hell he's talking about. And nobody talks to him.
Simp is not being nice.
Yeah, it's not that. I already told y'all what it is. If you don't know the definition, it's just because you don't want to know the definition. And I can also say this, how I believe this story is fake. I believe this story is fake because I have T-Mobile. I've never went to T-Mobile for a phone issue, and they didn't take my phone immediately. And so it's kind of like, when did you have time to go in there? And then somebody else said in the comments, one of the young ladies said in the comments, yo, what if her husband, what if she's married? What if she didn't find him attractive? What if she didn't want this?
It is some simping. And basically, to just sum up what simping is, it's leading with your wallet and dirty macking at the same time. That's all it is.
And congratulations. Robert Downing Jr., he coming back to the MCU. I would love to read his contract.
Yeah.
At one point, they were saying he was getting $50 million a thing. But for those who don't know, Robert Downey Jr. Died as Iron Man. Since Infinity War, Marvel has been tanking. I think a lot of that, well, not I think, I know a lot of that has to do with character development due to COVID. When COVID came, they had to rush out some movies. They had to rush out Infinity War.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And with that, you didn't have time to, you can't kill off Iron Man and Captain America and then give us Tupac from Notorious. Was Anthony Mackie? Remember he played Tupac? He was in 8 Mile too.
Yeah, that was terrible.
You can't give first of all, nobody don't want to see Captain. Every Trump supporter think he's Captain America, just to put that in perspective. They really do think they like Captain America. You gonna think about it when you get in the car, and you gonna be like, damn, they really do think they Captain America. They represent America. You know what I'm saying? They wish they could be this motherfucker. You can't replace him with a black person. It's tough.
No.
Then you try to make you try to pander and do the all women's movie. I ain't even see that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
The Marvels.
Yeah, nobody watched that. Nobody really even liked Miss Marvel when she came out.
Disney is struggling. It was terrible. Disney is struggling. Robert Downey Jr. probably one of the greatest comeback story
ever
in Hollywood, like maybe in the world. I mean, the guy during the 90s. I mean, he went to jail for drugs, gun possession. Like, here's the thing, right? And again, like that's just how the media. This is why I don't really like go in on our guys because you know, imagine if Jonathan Majors would have gotten caught with drugs, gun, right? You'd be in the vicinity of like, damn, Jonathan Majors he'd be called a thug on the internet all
Facts.
day, right? And we know what that's code for, right?
Nigger.
So you know, with Robert Downey Jr. is like, yo, you know, greatest comeback ever. They probably gonna tie it into Infinity War to him dying, and he's probably in the alternate universe now as Doctor Doom. So we're gonna watch it. He's a tremendous actor. One of my favorite movies of his is the one where he's an attorney, and his father is like senile, basically.
I thought you were talking about Tropic Thunder.
And he had no, I did not like.
You didn't
that.
like the blackface?
No, I don't like blackface. But The Counselor, I think is the name of the movie.
Okay.
Really, really good. So like, you know, I like him as an actor. He's not one of my favorite actors, but he's in some of my favorite movies. But the whole point is, looking at Robert Downey Jr. come back as Dr. Doom, I still don't know what Jonathan Majors got convicted for. Right? I still do not know. I'm going to say he did something because he was convicted, but that's the challenge of being a black male in this country, right? Robert Downey Jr., I think, went to an art school in New York, dropped out, moved to California, became an actor, right? Jonathan Majors, and this is not a defense of Jonathan Majors. I have my own issues with him as Jonathan Majors as the man, but Jonathan Majors as an actor, though, tremendous actor, right? This dude went to Chapel Hill, which is one of the best theater schools in the country, and Yale, which is, I think,
Yale,
the best theater school.
You just say it's Yale. It don't matter.
Yeah.
What can Yale be bad at besides sports?
In the country. Yeah,
Do
exactly, right? And it's like, look at the difference in how they're treated. Or, you know, let's just prognosticate. You know, is Jonathan Majors going to get Robert Downey's trajectory in the future? Like, you know, is he going to get forgiven and all that? It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. did hit a lick. Because let's be real. Who calling me? Sierra calling me. Oh, she ain't connected, so y'all can't hear it. Robert Downey Jr. did hit a lick. Before Blade, nobody was checking for any Marvel. And then Blade comes, and then they greenlight Spider-Man, and Spider-Man comes, and then it's like, all right, let's try this out. For those who not know how serious, y'all educated, go look up Robert Downey Jr. They was holding his movie checks because he'd start a movie, get on drugs, and then they couldn't find him. They was literally holding his checks on movies. Yeah. To go to, I know he roped in Universal and Marvel so good that they had to start paying him for back end success for his movies. Which is crazy. So I'm interested to see. I will say this, Jonathan Majors, this is what happens. If you didn't piss off black folks, I don't agree necessarily with Mike on some of the things you did, but I do agree that you pissed off black men. Yep.
A percentage of them. And what happens is, if you didn't piss them off, there would have been a boycott.
Yeah. I mean,
sort.
we're the keystone, so it's like you can't lose your core audience, man. And you see it happen. I mean, we're gonna talk about Stephen A. and Shannon, later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shannon, not Shannon. Stephen A. kind of lost his core audience. Like once you lose your core audience, because it's the influence, right?
Yeah.
If you guys are all talking about Elizabeth Warren and we're looking at actually saving the country and electability, and we say Joe Biden, it becomes Joe Biden, right? And it's like that's what you have as a man of color in the South, especially. And it's like, we have to rope that in. We have to use that. We got to do more at that. And I think Jonathan Majors, I think he thought, I got it, I made it, and he was just like, fuck y'all. And here you go, bro.
Here you go, Michael Ealy picking up your girl. We got a post. It was on Hollywood. Is this on Hollywood Unlocked? Oh no, it's on Neighborhood Talk. Shout out to Hollywood Unlocked, man. Y'all are us, we are y'all. Not really. Jason Lee, man, you are hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
He is hilarious.
He's actually funny.
Yeah, and congrats. I don't think we talk about his transition enough. I always am impressed by people who burn bridges and still have to double back 3 times hard to clean it up. Like Joe Budden is somebody who burned every bridge. Because you can either burn every bridge and end up like Joe Budden, or you can burn every bridge and be like Amanda Seales kicking in Kamala's back and nobody cares.
Nobody cares at all. Nobody. And that's the thing. It's like we don't. Never mind.
Yeah, we not. And nobody else gonna talk about Amanda. No need for us to do it.
Exactly.
But there's a post on Neighborhood Talk that says my friend like this girl, but won't get serious with her because she talked to his friend 10 years ago. This is exactly why y'all won't find love. Get a grip. So I think she supposed to say my friend, and it was supposed to be a comment like this girl. But anyway, her homegirl want to talk to his guy, but she used to talk to his boy back in the day. Bump the women's part.
Yeah.
Let's get to the dudes. What is the rule on I meet this girl? Because what's the rule? Because I got a strong.
If they were serious.
Mm-hmm. You got to eat that L, bro. It's gone.
You can't date her unless you and the dude are no longer friends and y'all not really in the same friend circle.
Facts.
So, but if y'all are still cool, there's a guy house who I used to go to and watch games. We went out with the same girl. I actually called him and was just like, hey, nothing really popped off.
Mm-hmm.
You seem like you're enamored with her. And that dude ain't even invited me back to his house. She done moved in. He has not even invited me back to the house, bro. It's like, dude, we still cool, man. Like, we still cool, bro.
Bump that. Once a lame, always a lame. Kendrick said it. I have a rule. It's only bro, unless you cool with burning both bridges, unless you cool with me looking at you as a loser and her as a loser for the rest of y'all lives, and it's being awkward for y'all for the rest of y'all lives, then cool.
10 years might not be enough time. 20 years, though, I think might be okay. Because now we're in our 40s and 50s, right? And now we're looking for companionship.
Well, I'm still going to look at y'all as lame. It's like, damn, how y'all...
But if somebody dated, my first girlfriend from high school, let's just call her Kay, right?
Okay, shout out to her.
If I saw one of my boys dating her now, I wouldn't be like, yo, I dated her, right? You know what I'm saying? It would be nothing, right? I could.
But what if you and that dude still cool?
Let's say
it's Dwight.
If Dwight, I'd just be like,
yeah, come on, tell the truth.
I'd be like,
Dwight, that's all you could do, bro. You couldn't find nobody.
I mean, I'd be like, I get it. Not here, because she can cook her ass off. So it's like, yo, y'all gonna have to get used to me coming over for dinner now. So it's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be weird. But I wouldn't care. That long ago, I wouldn't care. Now, let's say my ex-wife, right?
Ooh.
All right, and let's say that my same boy, he's married my ex-wife.
Gunshot.
Yeah, I'll be like, bro, come on, man.
Bump that.
Come on, man.
If I had her, you can't talk to her. If we still cool, unless you cool with me looking at both of y'all goofy, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with looking at both of y'all yo, y'all are two of the lamest people ever. Because I will do that. Everybody know me. I've made this very clear. If you talk to a girl who I used to mess with and we cool, I'm going to look at you.
But look at celebrities though. They date each other's significant others all the time.
You always said the celebrities shouldn't be the standard for anything.
That is true. I just tried to throw it in there. I really
Mike, I be using Mike words. I watch too much Law and Order. I know how to store stuff that Mike has said back in the day. And so I look at it like this. Now, I do believe, let's say y'all meet and y'all really like each other and y'all really want something special. If that person is worth it, bruh, if she's worth it, sis, if he's worth it, then then me calling you a loser should be worth it.
Yeah.
Like if that is your significant other,
now I will say this: the only time, because we did not talk about this. The only time I would say it's a no go 100% of the time is if they have kids in the house.
Oh,
grown kids, maybe you can get past that, but like do not don't move in with my child, bro. Like because I know you too well, right?
Yeah.
Something that I would have ignored if it was just a guy that she had dated. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to deal with. You and I got too much. We got too much interpersonal relationships for me to let stuff go because you should know better.
Facts.
So it's like, kids, absolutely not. Right? 10 years, to your point, I'm gonna look at you like, y'all a little bit lame. 20 plus years, I might crack an inappropriate joke.
Mike is the wise statesman of this podcast. Me and Mike have to make a list of like, what are we bring to the table to the pie? Wisdom is going to be at the top of his list. I'm telling y'all right now, if you talk to any chick that I've spoken to, I don't care if I took her on 2 dates, we spoke about your ass. And I'm going to DM you everything she said about you.
Oh.
Like I do want to make that clear. Cause it's one dude right now who I can't rock with him. We cool. We in group chats together and we can't never be close because he tried to backdoor like too many chicks I've spoken to.
Yeah, dirty macking.
Dirty macking, right?
Yeah.
And the funny part about every girl who he's tried to backdoor, I've already told him like, hey, yo, I didn't walk through this door.
Yeah.
He got a key somehow. So you get ready, sis. And so when it happens, so I'm telling you, if you try to talk to a chick I've spoken to, hey, bro, I'm telling you right now, we've spoken about you. And it's funny.
Yeah, like I said, yeah. If it's deep in the past, I'm gonna be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, not me. Welcome to the sports news of the podcast. Shannon Sharp. I am here to say, Shannon Sharp, hire somebody to run your socials. Get off the internet. Stop reading. You gotta stop reading the comments. For those who not know, so I'm gonna speed this up. Skip Bayless is leaving Fox, and so I was actually watching Undisputed today. It's getting better. It seemed like Skip know, like, yo, my time is up here. I'm gonna let y'all say whatever. Get your shit off. And so Stephen A gives a statement. ESPN gives a statement. Now Shannon Sharp feels like he has to give a statement. And the funny part is he's giving a statement and he's talking about how people are assuming that him and Stephen A aren't on the best of terms because he's not in the loop on everything. And I just want to say, stop reading the comments. However, I do want to bring this conversation to, I do think Shannon Sharp indirectly gave some insight on why First Take is trash.
Yeah, he definitely gave some insight. It's hard to not read the comments.
Facts.
But don't respond. There's never nothing ever good happens from responding to the comment. I have to tell myself this all the time. Like when I'll respond to be sarcastic or funny or say like, yo, you got it off. But there's never, ever a reason to respond and disagree. It's funny. I was talking to one of my boys and he's like, what advice would you give Drake in this situation? Like, what would you have told him to do differently?
Ooh.
And I was like, the only thing I could have told Drake to do is after Metro Boomin, Kendrick, and Future made that song, the only thing I could have told him to do is not respond.
Facts.
Right? Like that is the answer. Everything else is the wrong answer. So Shannon Sharp reading the comments, while providing insight, he needs to stop talking. There's nothing you're going to say that's going to make this situation be like, oh, yeah, I get it.
I would have told two things. We're going to leave it because I got a meeting in 30 minutes. Let me put it like that. I would have told Drake to rap and don't do no kiddie rap. You need to rap for real. And I would have told Drake to rap to one person only.
No names.
Nah, he been subbing for 15 years. I would have told him like, no, you just address Kendrick only. Stop.
I tell you what though, not to interrupt you.
What's that?
Now when I go back and listen to all the Drake songs, I'm like, he low key talking about like I see why the animosity was building.
Yeah.
Because now a lot of the shots, I'm thinking Drake talking to a ghost. Like, no, he's actually like talking about it.
Yeah. But I say this, Shannon Sharp you got to stop responding. Mike is correct, because what you've told us is, hey y'all, I've only sat beside Stephen A 5 times. No producers ever talked to me. The producers don't run the show by me. They don't ask me for topics. They don't ask me for my ideas. You would only, if you watch First Take, and you would only see me in studio 5 times. Go find me in them on a set and me have on more than 5 different outfits. He even went into say, yo, you find one producer that can produce a tape of them talking to me longer than 2 minutes. You know what that told me? No wonder y'all show is weird. Because when you telling me you doing the show over Zoom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, And no wonder when you see Stephen A, you only saw the man 5 times. No wonder you keep calling him Skip.
I wonder if there's a little bit of a rivalry that's going on between the two of them.
So that's what he was addressing throughout this video. I sent it to you because it was very interesting. It may be. I think, well, I mean, we said it 2 episodes ago. Stephen A ain't really got all black people on his side as he want. I think Stephen A is a diva. I think he's earned that diva, that diva title. And the reason why I say that is Stephen A was able to call, Stephen A said, I called Shannon as soon as him and Skip got into him and said, hey, bro, just to let you know, they're going to find a way to get rid of you. And he said this is before the Tom Brady situation. Or it might have been right at the, he's like, basically he called him. He said, yo, Skip about to find a way to get rid of you. Anybody remember what happened to Carrie Champion when her and Stephen A got into it? There's a list of people that used to rock besides Stephen A. Max. They got into it one good time. Stephen A found a way to get rid of him.
Has Stephen A brought back the young lady?
Monica?
Yeah.
I think she was on there one time since then. Like Stephen A, we know what he doing. Like he ain't too far from Skip. He learned from Skip.
Yeah, we just talked about Elon, right? Holding the grudge.
Yeah.
People in positions of power will hold the grudge.
Sage Steele did some bullshit. She was on there with Stephen A.
Yep.
She wasn't on TV too much longer.
Nope.
Shout out to Stephen A for that though. I think Jalen Rose probably told his wife at the time, yo, you got to relax. You and Stephen A getting a little bit too much into it and you got to relax. Now I ain't gonna say what the rumors is between Stephen A and Molly, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. And this ain't Hollywood Unlocked. Jason Tatum, Steve Kerr, you do not have to apologize for Jason Tatum not playing. We watched the finals for the last 3 years.
Yeah, we get it, bro.
We get it, bro.
We get it. Like, yo, he will be in the game in a blowout. He's a front runner.
Yeah, thank you. When all is going well, you can depend on Jason Tatum, and that's fine.
Yeah, he gonna drop 20 for you. But yeah, if y'all in a competitive game, we get it.
We get it. And when it's on the line, you don't have to explain to us.
Yeah,
like we know.
We watch.
We not the highlights. I watch the Hoops mixtape online and saw Jason Tatum with all that. Shout out to Jason Tatum always having his son with him though. I will say that though. That's beautiful.
Shout out him for landing LMA, who's probably like my favorite person, bro.
When she ain't talking at the end of a song.
She was my favorite person.
Who you like now?
I think they're married. So I try not to like men wives. I try to hold a standard. Like that's your wife. Try not to really.
You just can't talk crazy. I had a dude on one of my old podcasts, and he was it's a photographer who has a beautiful wife. Shout out to Manny Ortiz. And I'm giving his name because if you know his wife is beautiful. I'm going to be respectful. I had a guest on my podcast, bro. He went in on this dude's wife. And I was just like, I had to cut it out the pod.
Yeah, bro.
When I say like going in, he was drooling. He was like, oh my gosh, I do that. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get sponsorships and you going in on somebody's wife. I got to show a picture because Mike don't never believe me. Hold on. But what you got playing this weekend?
Not too much, man. Still working some things. We need to set up a Zoom so next week we can have a better pod than today.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully something pop off. But I'm gonna have a bunch to say because
oh, you gonna be in Vegas?
Yeah, so I'll be in Vegas this weekend. I don't have a problem with sharing it with y'all because I go every year, so I don't miss it.
Going out to the pool party. That's all I like doing when I go to Vegas, man. I just want to be out at the pool, drink, hear some music, and then go to a nice restaurant.
Absolutely, man. Everybody asking me, people keep asking me if I'm going to take, this is the photographer's wife. If I'm taking my dad out, what we doing? So, Mike gonna look at that and be like, Gavin got a type.
Hey, you know,
I just thought about
speaking
that.
of types, right? In group chat, they always go in on me as being the person.
Mike, stop reading the comments.
All right, I ain't gonna
Now we got to tell the group. Taylor said we got to stop talking about stuff off mic. So we in the group chat, and I love to tell Mike he will never beat the allegations. If y'all read the comments, you know the allegations. The allegations, which are false, is that Mike has an issue with black women. Mike retort to the group chat was what?
Hey man, I said everybody in this group chat wife is super light skinned.
So y'all can't talk about me.
Y'all cannot talk about me in this group chat. Y'all cannot.
And I had to remind Mike that I'm dark
everybody in the group chat, wife is super light skinned. And nobody's colorist, but this is how we fell in love, bro.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's always like they basically people always saying that like, yo, Mike don't like black women, which is not true. Like even when I go to countries outside of the United States, I'm with a black woman. Like
absolutely.
I love my sisters. But
shout out to the sisters.
Y'all
man.
annoying asses.
Absolutely. I was laughing. Speaking of sisters, my sister, I don't know if I talked about it on air, but I went to her house and she was like, show me that picture who you and Mike said was that fine girl.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, all right, man. So I pulled out my phone. I showed it to her. She said, woo, this is the prettiest headache I ever seen in my life.
She is.
Because the chick was fine. Yeah, y'all see me in Vegas this weekend. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm taking my pops. It should be a great time. A great time will be had. My dad is about to turn 60 next year.
Nice.
So, it is going to be interesting to say the least.
I can't wait to hear how this goes.
Yeah, me either. Because I know my dad, man, and this man is hilarious. So we'll see. I will not be. He always told me only place he'd never go to a strip club with me. So I guess I got to go there by myself. So it's cool though. But yeah, we'll have a great time. You said you ain't doing nothing this weekend?
Man, I'm not doing nothing this weekend. I gotta catch up on some work.
There we go, man.
Yeah, we got things to do.
Look, I want to thank y'all for listening. Please tune in. Please send this to somebody. Please go check us out on YouTube. Go to our website, blackdads.org. Please look it up. We got the store. The store is finally working, so you can buy merch. We got hats on there. We got t-shirts. Please look it up. Please buy something. Support the podcast, man. And with that, we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Holla at your boy.